Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible connections that literally make our digital world go round. You use them all day, every day, but you've probably never actually seen one. So let's dive right in.
Think about it for a second. It's kind of weird, right? You're in your food delivery app, you're about to order a pizza, and bam, there's Google Maps just sitting right there inside of it. How does that even work? Do they have some kind of secret deal? Is it digital wizardry? What's going on? Well, the secret isn't magic. It's a simple three-letter acronym that is quietly running so much of your online life. API. And trust me, once you understand what it is, you are going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
Now, to get what an API is, we don't need to wade through pages of code. Nope. All you have to do is imagine you're sitting down at a restaurant. We're going to use a really simple analogy that makes this whole concept click: your digital waiter.
Okay, so for the record, API stands for Application Programming Interface. But let's just park that for a second. The most important thing to remember is this. It's basically just a messenger. It's a go-between that lets two totally different software programs chat with each other, no problem.
Okay, so let's break this down. It's so simple when you think of it this way. Step 1. You decide what you want. You place your order. In tech speak, that's called a request. Step 2. The waiter, our trusty API, grabs that order and zips off to the kitchen. That kitchen, that's the server. It's where all the good stuff is. Step 3. The kitchen gets to work and prepares your food, or in this case, the data you asked for. And finally, step 4. The waiter, the API, brings that plate of delicious data right back to your table. That's the response. See? Request, response. Simple as that.
All right, so now we know what an API does. But why are they so, fundamental to how the internet works today? It all boils down to a really simple, really powerful idea. Why on earth would you reinvent the wheel? Think about it. If every new restaurant had to invent its own stove, forge its own pans, and grow all its own food, it would be a total nightmare. Super inefficient, right? Well, it's exactly the same with software.
So by using APIs, developers can just plug into services that already exist. This saves a huge amount of time, money, and effort. And just as important, it creates a standard way for all these different programs to talk to each other, making sure they can all play nicely in one big, happy digital sandbox.
This is just the perfect example. Building a map of the entire world? That's an enormous job. So why would a small travel app even try? Instead, they just use the Google Maps API. The travel app gets this incredible mapping feature, and Google gets its service in front of more people. Everybody wins. So let's go on a little tour and see where these APIs are hiding in plain sight in the apps you use every single day. Because once you know what to look for, you'll see you've been using them constantly.
Let's start with the classic. You pull out your phone, you want to know if you need a jacket or not.
You know that cool little weather app on your home screen? Yeah, it almost definitely does not own its own weather satellites. Instead, it's using an API as its waiter. It makes a request to a big weather service, basically asking, hey, what's the forecast for Dubai today? And the API brings back a nice, clean answer that the app can show you.
Okay, here's another one that is absolutely essential to, pretty much all of modern life. Online payments.
When you buy that cool thing from a small online shop, they didn't build their own global banking and credit card system. Can you imagine? That would be crazy complicated and expensive. Instead, they just use an API from a service like Stripe or PayPal. The API is the trusted waiter that handles the entire bill, securely and reliably, every time.
And then, of course, you have the huge, interconnected web of social media. The glue holding it all together? You guessed it, APIs.
You ever see those login with Google or sign in with Facebook buttons? That's an API in action. It's your app sending a request to Facebook's server asking, hey, is this person legit? And Facebook's API sends a response back saying, yep, they're good to go. It's way faster for you and a whole lot easier for the developer. Okay, so we've covered the big ideas. Now, just for a second, let's take a quick peek under the hood to see what one of these orders actually looks like. And don't worry, it is much simpler than you think.
So this right here is the order our digital waiter is taking to the kitchen. It's really just a special kind of web link. You can see it says GET, which means it wants to retrieve information. It's pointed at the Weather API's address, and it's asking for a very specific thing, the weather for the city of Dubai.
And this is the food that comes back from the kitchen. It's not a fancy web page with ads and buttons. Nope. It's just the pure data, organized neatly in a format called JSON. You can see it has the key facts. Temperature is 34, condition is sunny. Your app takes this raw data and makes it look pretty for you.
Now, not all waiters are the same, right? Some work in a super formal restaurant, others at a laid-back diner. APIs are kind of like that too. They have different styles. The one we just looked at is called a REST API. It's, the most popular kid in school, super common. You might hear about others like GraphQL or SOAP. Honestly, you don't need to memorize the names. Just think of them as different rules for how the waiter talks to the kitchen. The end goal is always the same: get the order right and bring back the food.
So if you're going to remember just one thing from all of this, make it this. An API is the universal translator for the digital world. It's the essential middleman that makes all of this incredible complexity, all this interconnectedness that we totally take for granted, possible.
So now you're in on the secret. The next time you see that map pop up in your ride-sharing app, or you pay for something with one click, or log into a new site with your social account, you can give a little mental nod to that silent, hard-working API, the digital waiter, that made it all happen.
And it kind of leaves you with this final thought, doesn't it? We spend so much of our time looking at the flashy front ends of our apps, but maybe the real magic, the true innovation, is actually happening in those invisible links that connect everything together. What if the most important connections in our world are the ones we can't even see?